Okay, so General Math 2 students, on this video I'm going to show you how to prepare a spreadsheet which does loan calculations or loan repayment calculations. So we're going to go down to the window here and we're going to use Excel. So we'll let that open up and we just want a blank workbook. Okay, so I'm going to make this full screen. Tap up here, takes up the whole screen. So first off, these are car loan repayments. So let's have a heading in this cell here. Now this cell here is B1. See, it says up there B1 and it lines up with the B column and row 1. Okay, so in here we're going to have car loan repayments. And I'll make that bold as well. Bold. Okay. In this one here, let's put amount borrowed. And interest rate here. And finally the monthly repayment. That one there. Okay, now I'm just going to go up to here and see that symbol that comes up the top, that crossy sort of looking thing. I'm going to make this a bit bigger so that all the words will show up when we put numbers down in here. Oops. Okay, so let's say that we can change these any time so it doesn't get stuck like this, all right? But so we'll fiddle with these numbers later. But let's say we borrow $10,000 into that end, and the interest rate is 5%. So just put that there. And a monthly repayment figure, let's say we pay back $200 a month, just to start off with, okay? Right, so let's, that information is going to be transferred down here after we put a whole lot of formulas and that sort of stuff in. So the next bit is to go down to A6 here, and we're going to have some headings. We're going to start with the month, money owing, interest, repayment, and amount owing. So these columns show us a lot of different information. I'm just going to drag that one across so it shows the whole word for repayment, this whole word here. Okay. So this tells us how many months have passed. This one's going to tell us how much we owe at the beginning of each month. This here tells us the amount of interest that's added by the bank. Oop, I didn't spell repayment correctly. I'll just fix that up. This shows it's the money we pay back that month, and this shows us how much is owing at the end of the month. So, first off, we want to have some numbers for months. So the number of months that we're going, so we're going to put 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter. And we want to go all the way to 60 months, so it's going to take quite a long time to enter them all one at a time. So what we should do is click and drag across all of those, select them, then bring that cross down until, see, it turns it from a white cross into a little black cross. Now click and drag that all the way down. We want to get to 60 months. We started at A7 or something there. I've gone a bit far here, but let's get to about, say we go to there. 63 months, close enough, that'll do. But so around about 60 months there we want. Okay, so we can go back up. Just drag this out so you can see. Alright, so now what we want to do next is start to put some formulas in, okay? So the money owing, now we might at the beginning we owe $10,000, right? But we want the computer to be able to calculate how that goes down as we go along. So we're not just going to write 10,000 or type 10,000 in here. We're going to say this is equal to, so we push the equals button, and we go up and click on this cell here, and it says equal to C2. That's that one there. And if we push enter, the computer grabs that number from up there. Now you might think we could just type $10,000 in there, but we want this to be calculated and get the computer to do all the work as that changes month to month. So it's best to grab it from there and do it that way. Okay, so the interest. Now we're going to get into this formula, and it isn't going to make a lot of sense this time, but just go with it. We're going to go equals, okay, and we say B7, then we go star, which is shift 8, and then you get the dollar sign, shift 4, and shift C to get a capital C, and another dollar symbol, and then 3, star 1. Okay, so what we're doing here is it's a simple interest formula. All right, now don't stop there because we're going to type a little bit more here, but we're doing B7, the number, the month, this amount owing, multiplied by the interest rate up here. Okay, now because we've given that as a percentage, we need to convert that to a decimal and also convert it to a monthly. So we're going to divide by 12 to divide by the number of months, and divide by 100 to change it to a decimal. So we'll learn more about that later on. At the moment, it's enough just to type that in and just put that in and push enter, and it tells us that for that month we're going to have to pay $41.66 or 67 cents once you round it off. Okay, so the repayment. Now we know we're going to be paying $200 each month, but we want this to replicate whatever's here, and we can change this later on if we do it this way. So here we're going to put this formula equals $C, $4. See, the computer knows it's that there. Push that and it knows it's 200, but look, I might change that to 300. And the computer automatically changes it for us now. So it's better to do it that way. Right, and then same here, like with this interest rate. Let's change the interest rate now. Well, the amount of interest goes up. If I make it more, if I make it only 1%, the amount of interest calculated will be really small. Yeah? We could change the amount borrowed, and the computer updates everything for us as we go along. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so very clever. Okay, let's do the amount owing column. Okay, so we type this in. Equals B7 plus C7 plus minus B7. So B7 is here, the amount we owe at the beginning, plus the interest that's added on, then subtract that repayment. So that makes sense. And so at the start of the month, we owed $20,000. They added $16 on, $16.66, and then we paid $200 off. So that's how much we owe at the end. If we were to increase the monthly repayment, that changes things a bit. If you increase the interest rate, that changes things a bit. Okay. So, in order to get that to work over a period of 60 months, we want to fill down. So I'm going to click on this one and go until it turns into a little black arrow. And then we're going to go all the way down to about what we had before. Now it says all zeros. Doesn't make a lot of sense just now, but that's only because we haven't filled the other columns down. click here, grab him, fill him down, like that. Okay, so it'll look a bit funny for a little while, but just stick with it, because once we get all the stuff filled down, then it will work. And finally, last one, and then things will start to look a lot nicer. Or not. Let's see. Sorry. Undo all that. So this is good actually. I'm just going to go Control Z and undo that, and then Control Z again and undo that. So or we can tap up here on these ones and that goes backwards. So I just made mistakes there, but I can undo them. So I did that deliberately. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Right, before I did any of that, ignore all that. Press go back 4 times till you get back to this, or just goes back to that, or get me over now and get me to show you how to do that. We actually go here to B8 and we write equals B7, like that. And then, so that makes sense because this amount here that we owed at the end of the month goes forward to the start of the next month. Right? Okay, so now we'll fill everything down from here. So from here we're going to go down all the way, and then same for our interest, and for our repayment. And owing, and hopefully this looks a bit better than what we ended up with before. That's looking good. Okay, so if we have a look at this, we can see that at the start of the first month, under these circumstances, we owe $20,000. Let's say we borrow $20,000 at 4%. So they say, okay, we're going to add interest onto that. We're going to add $66.67. And then we're going to have a repayment of $400. So the amount owing goes down to that amount there, which carries over to here, to the next month. So those numbers there are the same. And then the interest is added on. It's a little bit less because the amount owing is a little bit less. And we take that off, and that amount there then carries over to the start of the next month and so forth. We go down. We see the amount owing going down gradually. And how long does it take us to pay this off? Well, let's see. When we get to this point, only $314 owing. And here's negative, which means that we've actually, by then, we've paid it off after 55 months. We wouldn't make a full payment at the end there. That shows that if we paid $400, it'd be a bit too much. So we paid that much. We take off $85. So it'd be about $315 payment. Or actually, we pay off that $314. So yeah, that $314 payment. That amount there, and that would finish the loan. So this loan is finished after 55 months. If, of course, we owed a bit more, let's say we borrowed $22,000, it'll take us a bit longer to pay it off. So instead of 55 months, we go and we now find that it's going to take us 61 months. So I'm going to give you guys some questions to work on, where you're going to go up and play with these numbers here, different interest rates, different repayment figures, and different amount borrowed perhaps, although you've already chosen your car and that's what you're going to borrow. And then what you've got to look for down here is how many months until we hit the negatives where we've actually paid it off. That's what we're looking for. Okay, well done. Let's get started on that worksheet.